That's another Cycling Ireland race under the belt. I think that's my third one now. Um, every week I seem to be getting a little bit better, so can't really complain in that regard. In regards to results, scrolling for a while to find me, 87th, pretty all right actually. 4.6 watts per kilo average, 2 minutes 46 seconds down. Ouch. Uh, 320 average, 332 normalized, 4.7 20 minute, 5 minute, 5 watts per kilo. Pretty okay actually, in fairness. I'm happy enough with those numbers considering. Uh, so yeah, around 87th. Regarding the lads that came first, top 10 I suppose. 5.5, 5.7 for Con there. Savage would have ride that. 5.4, 6.4 watts per kilo. That's fairly impressive for 30 minutes. Yeah, Cameron Jeffers, 5 watts per kilo. I saw he streams race too. It was pretty cool, along with the Cycling Ireland stream as well. So it's class to actually be able to watch these races. Um, yeah, pretty decent. Few Irish boys in the top 10, and a lot more in the top 20. So nice little performance there. Some massive numbers too. 5.7, 5.7. Yeah, pretty decent. One can dream, I suppose. Regarding my file itself, first 5 minutes, very similar to the last time actually. First 5 minutes peak, 5 minutes of the whole thing. Fast start in these yokes, it's just critical. Like what you don't see before this is the 800 watts surge to make the front group before it even happens. So like with 5 seconds to go, you're nearly sprinting, and then it's just like a kind of a max effort essentially holding on for lads like me. So that's 354 or 355 watts, 5.1 watts per kilo for 5 minutes. Just kind of flat really, to be honest. Gentle, maybe 0.1% downhill, so pretty flat, yeah. 51 k's an hour, 100 RPMs, 175 BPM, so at my limit anyway for that. I managed to hang on for probably, I think it was around this point on the flat into the volcano. I think I got dropped. So that was about 10 minutes. It's better than the 6 or 7 minutes last time, I suppose. 340 watts for the first 10 minutes, 4.9 watts per kilo. 98 revs, 49k an hour, so flying along there. Again, peak 10-minute power, actually peak 10-minute power this year. Heading into that before I got dropped. Then we hit the climb. So usually, like I was saying the last time, what these do is mental hard start, and then like you either stay with the front group or you get dropped. Takes you a few minutes to recover, and then you find your place in a group that's kind of your ability level, and then you race. That's my experience of it anyway. So if we're saying I lasted for the first 10 minutes, like while I was recovering, we'll call it, it would be probably 3 minutes of recovery around 270 watts. So just under threshold power for me. So just kind of recovering, I suppose. The cadence dropped slightly, speed obviously dropped slightly, and then a group basically came up the rear, and I had to kind of surge to get onto the back of that, which was a minute at around 400 watts, we'll say. Up heart rates fly back up again, 167 BPM, 5.8 watts per kilo. So that basically got me into that group. And then you can kind of utilize the drafting, and I suppose this is where you actually see it. So after I got in, the speed was still roughly around the same, but we dropped back down to 280 watts or so. Heart rate's still up, obviously, from the increased effort there to catch back onto him. It's kind of not what you want to be doing before you hit this big climb here, but you're lucky. With Zwift, if you're out of the group, you're kind of at nothing. So it's worth making the actual effort just to get into a big group on the road, if that makes sense. So the climb itself then was, what are we saying, 3.5-ish kilometers long, 3.5k at 3%, 330 watts, 4.8 watts per kilo, 88 revs, 31 k's an hour, around 1,000 VAM. Pretty decent enough effort for me, actually, to be honest. I was quite happy with the rhythm I got on that climb. And I was kind of at the front of the, I don't know, was it third or fourth group on the road or something like that, and I was kind of floating around the front of that, which was quite nice, I suppose, to be at the front of a kind of a bike race, my own bike race, I suppose. Got a nice rhythm on it. It was a good climb, actually. So that was nice, yeah. It's still heart rate topping out 176 BPM there. to be honest, it just gets up to a level and you have to come off the gas massively, like 30 or 40 watts below where you want to be to actually get the heart rate to recover for some of these things. And that's kind of the difference between having a big winter behind you. You'll get heart rate recovery a lot quicker. So it's something I don't really have. Um, so it's quite nice. I think it was 3 minutes slower than the lead group over that climb, or 2 minutes slower maybe. I'm not sure. So yeah, not at the races, at the front of the races anyway. That's for certain. Something I actually found quite interesting going down the hill. I played around with like freewheeling a little bit because it was it wasn't steep, but it was kind of steep. So you can see like the fluctuations in the power here. So like these are the times I tried to freewheel to try stay in the group, and it actually worked a little bit. So I'd kind of be at the front and I'd freewheel and I'd gradually come to the back, and then I'd surge in a little bit more. So like a surge would be 10 or so seconds at kind of like 400 watts just to stay in the group, freewheel again. And that actually, you can see it because it brought my heart rate from 174 BPM down to kind of 140 BPM by the kind of mid plateau bottom of the descent. And something like a recovery like that actually pays massive dividends in terms of like just recharging like your capacity for anaerobic work or for a surge at the end, if that makes sense. So it is worth your while on Zwift playing around with like the draft and mechanics, or how you can actually stay in on a descent instead of just like hammering it down the descent for no real reason and then just kind of gapping people and then being caught. That's my perspective of it anyway, but I'm no Zwift professional either. So yeah, kind of stayed in the group then after the descent, and then was kind of like flowing 140, 150 on Zwift itself, and I just had a spectacular attack here till the end just to try and win out of my group. It came up short though slightly, which was terribly disappointing. So the attack itself was probably like, what are we saying, minute and a half at about 400 watts, 180 BPM, so already tanked at this stage, 45k an hour. And then I got caught and we had a little gallop into the line, 813 watt sprint, 635 watts for 15 minutes, so nothing to write home about in terms of the sprint numbers. I find sprinting on a turbo trainer fucking hard. Like, it's just such a weird thing to do and to get over the resistance, but it's skill in itself, I suppose. Yeah, and ended up finishing, what did I say, 80 something. So it was pretty good day out, savage workout. Actually hit my third all-time 20-minute power, which was pretty decent actually. Yeah, 20-minute all power, like only 5 or so watts off it, which is quite impressive. Like, I don't really do 20-minute tests, to be honest with you. So like, they all come from racing. The last 20-minute test I did would have been in 2017. Club runs and league races and stuff like that. Get a big whack out of yourself for the 20-minute duration.